guys, welcome back to my channel. On this channel I film about faith and lifestyle as they pertain to relationships. So today is going to be a very interesting video. We're going to be talking about how to establish boundaries in a Christian relationship. And while we're doing that, we're going to be getting ready. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing my makeup on camera. I've tried something like this before on this channel, but to be honest, that didn't turn out so well. Argument. Let's see guys have it first. Guys, so another point I want to discuss is withdrawal. When they begin to, I won't lie, I kept on doing my makeup off camera, coming back to film. So this time around, I'll try to do it on camera while filming, because I noticed that it's a bit difficult doing makeup then at the same time talking, like, you know, you're trying to talk about points, but I see people doing it, so I'm going to try it. My own look different. Let me clean my face first of all. Boundaries are those things you set in order to protect yourself in whatever way, be it physically, mentally, or whatever. There are different types of boundaries. I've already mentioned them in the explanation of what boundaries are. There are physical boundaries, emotional boundaries, mental boundaries, and spiritual boundaries. So physical boundaries are those boundaries you set when it comes to physical things, physical contact, physical activities, those boundaries that you have in terms of where you want to be touched, how you want to be hugged, and other ways. While spiritual boundaries are like boundaries you set in terms of values, beliefs, maybe prayer, religion, or in whatever way. I don't really think spiritual boundary should be a thing. If you think spiritual boundary should be a thing, let me know in the comment section what and how you feel about spiritual boundary. But in a Christian relationship, I don't feel like there should be any spiritual boundaries, except you're dating with you're in a relationship with someone that is from a different denomination. Then you know that most times you guys might be having clashes about doctrines, so you might need to set spiritual boundaries. Emotional boundaries are boundaries that you set on like things you share with your partner, the amount of things that you want your partner to know about you, about your family, about your life, which I think is quite important. Like it's not everything, I feel, especially if you're still in a relationship, that you should be sharing with your partner. It's just a case of being wise and, you know, just being very sensible. It's not everything about your life, about your family, about your past. I don't know, depending on how hurtful that can be to your future. I feel like when it comes to your past, you know that maybe there are some things that might have happened in the past that you might need to share with your partner. Then go ahead. When you know that this is an advanced relationship and the person you're with is very sensible and knows how to handle those kind of informations before you begin to dish them out. If you've been in a healthy relationship before, drop in the comment section what you think about these boundaries, if you've set any of them before and how it worked out for you. Now I'm just going to be explaining why it's very necessary to have boundaries in your relationship, or having healthy boundaries in your relationship. One, it leads to trust, it leads to respect, and it's a form of self-care. It shows that you actually do care about yourself. So these are like a few reasons why you need to set healthy boundaries. I keep making that statement, healthy boundaries, not just any. It's like I've put too much makeup on my forehead. It's not about just any boundary, but healthy boundaries. I keep putting emphasis on those healthy because it's very important for you. It leads to respect, it leads to trust, it leads to what else did I say? It's a form of self-care. It shows that you know about yourself, you care about yourself, and you're just in a relationship. You're not just in a relationship for the other person. So another reason why you need to set these healthy boundaries, because it also says in Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23, it says, guard your heart, because everything you do comes from there. So you need to set up these boundaries. God is even telling you it is important, because it's a way of showing that you love yourself and you respect people around you. It's quite important that you set those boundaries in your relationship. I cannot overemphasize that. We are going to talk about how unhealthy boundaries or not setting healthy boundaries can affect your Christian relationship. So it leads to lack of respect. Without even mentioning it leads to lack of respect. Like if you're not able to mention that these are the things you take and the things that you don't take, it leads to lack of respect. It can even lead to physical harm in some abusive relationships, because this person doesn't know your boundary and what you cannot take. Even emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
It can lead to emotional damage, you know, emotional distress, lack of trust, control issues. You begin to see that there is a kind of imbalance in that relationship because someone kind of has an upper hand in the relationship. So it's time for me to do my eyeshadow. So guys, let's discuss. Have you ever been in an unhealthy relationship? How did it affect you? Which other ways can not having healthy boundaries affect you in your relationship? Let's share in the comment section. I don't even know how I want to do my eye, but just putting. It's been long I did makeup. I used to have like, yeah, okay, I'll use gold. I used to have like colors that I use on a daily. I've forgotten those colors. I feel this brown and gold is something I do a lot. So let's go with that. Let's talk about how to maintain those healthy boundaries in a relationship. I'm going to be giving you a few tips on maintaining those boundaries, ensuring that they stay there. So it's not just one thing to talk to your partner about these boundaries. It's another thing to ensure that those boundaries actually are respected, they are maintained. You can say, okay, this is what I stand for, this is what I don't stand for in my relationship, yet you're unable to maintain those things. So I'm going to be giving you tips to maintaining those boundaries and making sure they are enforced at all times. First of all, you have to identify what are your personal boundaries and values. Now, you cannot maintain those boundaries and values if you don't even know what they are. I forgot to moisturize my lips. If you don't even know what they are, first of all, you need to know what you stand for, what you cannot take, what you cannot tolerate in a relationship before you enter into that relationship. That is why I always talk about self-awareness, being very conscious of yourself and knowing yourself is very, very important. Know what you can stand for, what you can take, and what you cannot take. It's important, be it a Christian relationship or even any relationship. Once you know those things, you identify that I don't want so and so things in my relationship. Don't talk to me this way. When it begins to get this way, I know that I can no longer take it. Then you know that that's where it's at. Never put eyeliner on my eye by myself before, so I hope I'm not going to make a mistake, guys. I'm scared. So my next point is communicating those boundaries clearly and respectfully. When you're trying to tell your partner about, make sure you tell them. They should not assume this is a Christian relationship, it should be a mature relationship. Tell them. Say it clearly. Don't try to mince words. Don't try to be say it exactly as it is. And then respectfully. Don't try to enforce it on them. If they accept, good and fine. If they don't accept, you move on. Because these boundaries are quite important. Consistently enforce your boundaries. So you've already mentioned to them that these are your boundaries, these are what you can stand for, which you cannot stand for. Consistently enforce it. Don't be the one to now start accepting it. Don't say, okay, I've already told them this is what I can take and this is what I cannot take, and then you're not enforcing those things. Sometimes they make mistake and you're just like, okay, it's a mistake. Consistently enforce it. Anytime they try to talk to you anyhow or they touch you in a way you're not comfortable with, consistently enforce it. Consistently remind them that you don't like this. I was watching a video one time, a very, very long time ago. I don't know if you know this couple on TikTok, not TikTok, on YouTube. That's Paul and Morgan. And Paul said that in their relationship that he told her about a boundary that he had, and that anytime that boundary was crossed, that they were going to break up. And so I don't want to say it was like a fear, but I feel like it's something good that puts it in the back of, or is the back of the mind of your partner, that if we cross this level, she's leaving me or he's leaving me, so I have to maintain, I have to be on my best behavior at all time. You understand? So that's and also good. It's a good idea. It's something that you can also put in order to enforce your boundaries in your relationship. So be open to compromise and negotiation. You know the ones that are actually very important to you, and you know the ones that, okay, you're just setting for, I don't want to say setting sake, because this, you're with somebody and that person might not accept all the boundaries. So be open to negotiating with them, to communicating with them. That is why you're in a Christian relationship. I'm saying this for adults and people that I believe are in a mature relationship. I'm not talking to kids. They don't know what they want yet. While setting your boundaries, there are some common issues that you might face. For instance, you might get pushback from your partner. They might not want to accept some boundaries. Expect it. Be uncompromising. I guess that's the word I want to use. Be uncompromising. You might experience differences in belief systems. So yeah, the person might believe that, kissing in a relationship is not bad, but then you know that you don't want that. So expect it and then be open to communication. Both of you should be open to to communication, or to be open to talk to each other. And lastly, you might experience guilt or fear that, hope this thing I'm about to ask for, hope this thing I'm about to say is not too much. No, it is not too much. They are your boundaries. You know how they affect you. You know what you stand for. So don't be scared to state them. Sure you get. Yeah. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned a thing or two that you can implement in your Christian relationships about setting healthy boundaries. So I'm going to see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Share it with your family and friends. Share it on your church groups to help everybody grow in their Christian relationships. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.